when we meet. Let's take the good news and shout it in the street. Let's break the good news, though it seems too good to be true, that you'll soon marry me and I'll soon marry you. And we're gonna take a honeymoon cruise. Let's break the good news.
So, hello again. We've got to 1958 in my army career. The second year. That I've had 2 years so far. Everything's been going well lately. I've had no confined to barracks, no CB. I've been behaving myself. When I go out, I've been signing out and coming in at the right time, before 12 o'clock. So everything's roses at the moment. I am carrying on with my lucrative business of coffee and cigarettes, and I've accumulated quite a bit of money. So I bought myself a car, an ex-army Humber Super Snipe off of one of the officers. And it was very good. Like, I was going out in the car, no problem. I got international driving licence, a German international driving licence, and everything was legal on it. Anyway, I was going out and about in it, and I arrived at a place, they called it Hilltrop. It's a lake where all the locals go, all the people around go for swimming and sunbathing. Anyway, I got there and met a lady, and we got right friendly together, and I was taking her out afterwards. She was living on her own and everything was fine, until one time I was going out and about with the boys as well, and I smashed the car up because we went to a bar and we created a bit of disturbance in the bar, and the Germans all cleared us out. There was 4 of us. They cleared us out of the bar and started chasing after us in their car. I was going down the road and we was all drunk, going down the road, and all of a sudden someone said, "There's a brick wall across the road." So I slammed the brakes on and the car slammed up against the side of a brick wall going over a bridge, and we was all shook up and damaged and everything. Anyway, that was the end of that car, because it was a write-off. So that was the end of that. Anyway, I didn't get in no problems with it, no punishment or anything, because it was all legal. So I went on a weekend pass to Hamburg for 3 days, a 72-hour pass with some mates. There was about 4 of us. We slept in the YMCA place in Hamburg the first night. The second night I found myself a lady to sleep with, so I was in a hotel for the second night. But I still went back on time. The next day, on the Sunday, we had to go back to the camp, and because the 72 hours was up. So that was okay. I carried on seeing my lady for a while, and then she said to me, "Can you stay the weekend?" So I applied for another 48-hour pass and they refused it. So I went out through the hole in the wall, through the wire. I went out through the wire at the weekend to stay with her. So that was okay. And when I got back, I carried on. No, what I did, I went out legally. And I remember now, I went out legally and I signed in the book to go out. And I was supposed to come back that night at 12 o'clock. But I didn't come back at 12 o'clock. I stayed the night and came back in the morning, and it was too late to sign in at the guard room. So they came to check on me, the sergeant came to check on me to see if I was back. And I was back, and I said, oh, I forgot to sign in. So he said, no, you didn't. He said, because we checked here last night and you wasn't here. So anyway, I was on another charge. And I was on a charge, and I got confined to barracks again, and fatigues. Different fatigues, cleaning places. Might be a local toilet, it might be the cookhouse, it could be the naffy. As it happens, this particular time I was tidying the naffy up at lunchtime, when all the blokes was there having lunch in the naffy and the beer and everything. I had to clear it all up, ready for the late session. And there was me and another fella who was on fatigues, and we knew that there was going to be a company meeting that day on this Friday. There was a company meeting. We didn't know what it was about, but everybody had to go to the cookhouse for a lecture or a meeting of some sort. So anyway, I said to my mate, come on, Les. His name was Leslie Panrucker. I said, come on, Les. Let's go and see what it's all about. So off we went to the cookhouse, dressed like we was normally dressed for fatigues, denim trousers, no top, just a shirt, no tie or nothing like that. We was not presentable really. So off we went, and outside the cookhouse there was a staff sergeant that was acting company sergeant major, because the sergeant major wasn't there, he was on holiday. So this bloke was acting company sergeant major. And he said to us, what are you doing coming here like that for the way you're dressed, improperly dressed? Double away and get dressed and come back here in 5 minutes. So we just turned around and started walking back. And he shouted out, I said double. So my mate Les started trotting away, doubling. And I just carried on walking. Anyway, he got the needle and he came down after me and he spun me round and spit in my face when he was talking, and he said, when I say double, I mean double. And he spit all in my face, so I just whacked him and I punched him straight in the mouth. And then I didn't knock him over, he didn't fall over, couldn't have been that hard, but I hit him in the mouth. And I turned around and then I started doubling, because I know the shit's going to hit the fan. So I doubled back to my billet, got all my civvies on, and by the time I come out, the whole company was out of the cookhouse and they was all looking for me. They was all around everywhere. So I was going to go through the hole in the wall, through the wire, but I couldn't do it because there was lines of blokes everywhere. There was probably 100 blokes looking for me. So I gets to the wire and I can't go no further, and there's a big Ramey sergeant. He was about 6'6", and there was an officer. And the officer had some handcuffs in his hand. He must have been in the cookhouse to give the lecture or whatever. But he was only a lieutenant, he was a minor officer. So he said to me, come on, put these handcuffs. I said, you can fuck off as well. Anyway, this big Ramey sergeant got hold of me, grappled me, got me on the ground and put the handcuffs on me. And then they led me away to the guard room. And then I was in close arrest and was informed that I was going to have a court-martial. That's all I've got to say for this time.
Photos.
Speak to you later.
Photos. Photos.
Oh, by the way, I was going to put a photograph on, a couple of photographs, see if you can pick me out of the photograph of the 5 or 6 blokes that's in it. And also I put a photograph of the car that I smashed up, because they brought it back to the camp. That's all for now. Bye.
Let's break the good news to everyone we meet. Let's take the good news and shout it in the street. Let's break the good news, though it seems too good to be true, that you'll soon marry me and I'll soon marry you. And we're gonna take a honeymoon cruise. Let's break the good news. Let's break the good news to everyone we meet. Let's take the good news and shout it in the street. Let's break the good news, though it seems too good to be true, that you'll soon marry me and I'll soon marry you. And we're gonna take